With the release of the external component cores into the first Descendant, there is a very clear question. What is the best farm for them? And in this video, I'm gonna give you the answer to that. Now, the two contenders in this boxing ring is going to be the following. The puny 400% up against the absolute Giga Chad, that being Sigma Sector. So, let me give you the information, the rundown, and everything you need to know about how to farm them. So let's get right on into it. So my metric for measuring this is going to be the following. I'm going to see how many X cores I can get in 1 hour of doing the farm. Why X cores? Because realistically you should not be using any other cores. That's not X on your external components. And this is going to include conversions. So how many level 5, 6, 7, 8 cores and 9 cores that you can convert into X cores. But basically we're just focusing on the top tier of core because that's the only one you're going to need. So let's actually start. So I have conducted this test more than once. I did do this with the Haven dungeon, and then I've also done this with Magister Lab. I'm going to go in order of the timeline, so compare the Haven to Sigma, and then I'm going to compare the Magister to Sigma. So don't worry, I'll be going in increasing order. You can see the Magister runs were on an average of a minute, but I'm going to come back to that later. Let's first of all talk about the Haven runs. So to start off with the Haven, let's talk about what I got for that. Now, I did 25 runs within 1 hour. My average for time was around about 2 minutes, 5, 10-ish seconds. But I wasn't 100% tracking for the Haven. The one I truly tracked properly was Magister Labs, and we will get to that in a moment. But basically, to give you the rundown for Haven at least, because that's not the ones we're going to be focusing on the most right now. The Haven did provide a good amount of cores, that being 12 of the normal orange cores, then 9 of the augmented orange cores. Then it also provided 10 of the regular blue cores, and then 11 of the augmented cores within the space of 1 hour of me running. And yes, this does include conversions. So yes, this is what I got. Around about 10 to 12 cores of every single core from running the Haven. I don't have any gameplay recorded of Haven, forgive me for that. I was streaming it. Everything I do is streamed on Twitch and YouTube anyways nowadays, so yeah, if you just go back to my VOD about the update, you'll find it in there. But yeah, it was around about that, so that is the information I got when it comes to that gameplay. Next up, let's talk about the proper information I got out of Magister Lab. Now, in Magister Labs, I did 36 runs inside of 1 hour. That was a fair amount of runs, and my average time for this was between 1 minute or 60 seconds and 70 seconds or 1 minute 10 seconds is basically my average for these runs. Loading times included and everything within 1 hour runs, because you know you have to account for that. And this is the results that I got. After conversion and everything, I managed to get 16 of the orange cores, 22 of the orange augmented cores, 23 regular blue cores, and 22 of the blue augmented cores. Now, this was pretty good. The benefits of running a 400% is getting yourself the vouchers and having the material patterns to open up for catalysts, so that is something you also definitely need to take into account. If that's something you need, running Magister Labs is definitely great. Now, this was with a pre-planned team. The team was a Bunny, a Serena, and 2 Inaces. And we were absolutely curb stomping, speedrunning, and flying through this like an absolute beast. So this is what you can get in an absolute best case scenario, meaning that I basically did the same thing in Sigma. The reason I pushed the team and enforced this synergy to basically give us the maximum results for this gameplay is because I want to see what's truly better if you maximize everything as well, because I would only like to give you guys the most accurate and best information possible. But that's basically what I managed to get specifically for Magister Labs. It was a ton of fun running this as well. So yeah, okay, that is Magister Lab. Now let's talk about Sigma Sector. Now for Sigma Sector, we managed to do 29 runs in 1 hour. Now with Sigma, the tile set rotates as well, so I can't really give you an average for this depending on every single tile set, but some missions were between 1 minute and 20 seconds, and some missions were between 1 minute 10 seconds or 2 minutes 5 seconds, 2 minutes 20 seconds, so on and so forth, but it was all completely dependent on the tile set. you can see after running a full hour of Sigma Sector, I managed to get 22 orange cores, 24 orange augmented cores, 30 blue cores, and 27 blue augmented cores. Now, without a doubt, this is by far significantly better than Magister Lab. Now, I know some people will probably be scratching their heads as to why I'm saying significantly, but you have to keep in account that this is across every single one of these cores. All of these cores have been consistently higher across all of it. And when it comes to Sigma Sector, there's a ton of benefits as well. It is also the fastest quantum crystal, nano compound, and energy core farm in the game. So that's the resources you're going to need to basically pull your reactors, your external components up to max stats. As well as that, you're going to get the cores for it, the fastest inside of Sigma Sector. If you've not maxed out your Descendants, there's going to be the RK-XP. Sigma gives great weapon XP and also great Descendant XP. And it gives you a ton of great reactors. If you need to reactor farm and you're not looking for anything crazy specifically, it's Sigma Sector. Now again, this was ran with the same pre-prepared team. I was running Freyna for these runs. We had 2 Inaces and a Serena yet again. So our runs were very much scripted to be the absolute fastest we could go with the tile sets we were given, so on and so forth, but you get the gist. I basically tried pushing everything as much as I can to be as optimal as I can for Sigma Sector as well. Now, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of bonus information, which is a chart that a member in my Discord has sent me. Shout out to Cinity. But before I talk about that real quick, let me just talk about each farm individually and basically give you a complete rundown. Haven is good, or every other 400% is worthwhile doing, but Magister Labs is absolutely the best for the cores in 1 hour. You can see the numbers on screen. I don't need to tell you one's better than the other. You can see for yourself. Now, like I said, Sigma is significantly better still. In terms of actual X cores per total in an hour, the differences are quite staggering. Magister Labs will give you the highest in any dungeons. Sigma Sector will give you more than that. On average, it's about 20 additional X cores per hour. So, you know, you're definitely going to want to focus on Sigma Sector more so than anything else. But now let me actually show you the chart. Sorry for interrupting. What this chart shows is the drop chances for the external component cores in Sigma and in 400%. Essentially what this confirms is 400% has a higher chance of dropping more lower level cores, which is in fact going to cost you more to fuse all the way up to your max level. And you can see that around the level 3 and the level 4 and the level 5 is where you're primarily going to be hitting the jackpot with 400%. With Sigma Sector, level 4, 5, 6 is going to be a little bit better. Or sorry, 5, 6, 7 is going to be a little bit better. It's about the same, but Sigma Sector just overall drops a little bit nicer. Now you can see here that level 8 on the 400% does have a quite high drop rate, but at the same time level 8 in Sigma has double, and level 9 in Sigma also has a high drop rate. Level 9 in 400% has a high drop rate because it has to give you some level 9s, and then level 10 in Sigma has a much higher drop. Level 10 in 400% can still absolutely drop X cores. I've had it happen to me. I've had it drop 6 X cores in one run, which is just insane. 3 of each for the regular cores and the augmented ones once in a while, but it's not really often enough to be consistent towards being the best. Now, of course, this is RNG based, but I did try pushing my team as much as I can to give the best information possible, and this is something I think a lot of people do need to know. If you are truly trying to farm your external component cores the fastest, make sure you are in fact doing Sigma Sector, specifically the Isolated Desert. Broken Boundary is a little bit slower depending on tile set, or could be a little bit faster depending on tile set, but on average, Isolated Desert does have the faster maps, so this is something that I think everyone should 100% make sure that they are farming in order to basically be optimal with their time. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed. That's basically been this video. Important information, so make sure that you are following the advice given in this video. And yeah, that's basically it. Hope you've enjoyed. Smash that like button, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!